All right, so now we're in question number 30. This is the last question in this passage on the ACT English test. Let's begin by dissecting this question. Okay, so suppose that the writer's primary purpose. All right, there's a lot packed in there. First, let's start with this word suppose. This means we need to think critically about. Okay, so we want to put on our critical thinking hats. And then it says primary purpose. So now we know what the scope is. It's going to be the whole passage, not just a particular paragraph. Now, armed with this, let's go into the particulars of this question. Had been to describe what? Starting and enjoying a new hobby. Would this essay accomplish that purpose? So if we're going to say yes as opposed to no, then we have two parameters that we need to confirm. We have to confirm that this essay or passage was describing starting a new hobby and enjoying a new hobby. Both of them must be addressed in order for us to answer yes, otherwise we will need to answer no. So let's go up into the passage. Now, hopefully by this point you would have read it. You could always pause the video and reread it if you want to. We're going to just work quickly through it. And we'll go to paragraph 1 to see what we're talking about. Now, we're talking about go signs. Paragraph 1 defines go signs, describes a few go signs, and then it introduces the narrator in here a little later on. In paragraph 2, the narrator mentions that she collects ghost signs, okay? Not the signs themselves, but photos of them. She was driving home from school one chilly October evening when her collection got started. I had made the drive countless times, but I'd never noticed the sign. Okay, now it goes into that specific instance of when the narrator got started with her collection. Continues on. I vowed to return with my camera to better capture the forlorn, luminous beauty of my discovery. She was happily haunted by ghost signs. Every once in a while, she took a friend with her along. Okay, I think we have enough information to figure out this answer. So does it describe starting a new hobby? Yes. In the second paragraph, the narrator claims, or the narrator states, that she saw a sign and she seemed to get hooked, right? She saw the sign, she had to stop. And so that's how she got started. Did she enjoy her new hobby? Yes, you could tell by the way that she described herself going through it. Happily, I think that was in paragraph 3. Let's just go and find the words. So we have happily over here, luminous beauty, okay? So this is definitely not a person that's not enjoying themselves. So she seems to be enjoying herself a lot. All right, so both of these parameters are met, which means that we're going to answer yes. Now we just need to figure out why. Yes, because it presents the event that led to the narrator becoming interested in finding ghost signs and taking photographs of them. Yes, that's true. Let's just read answer choice G, because it describes the narrator's experience of learning from a friend where to find ghost signs. Well, does it say that the narrator was learning from a friend? It doesn't. It mentions a friend in the 4th paragraph, so if you weren't reading carefully, that might have been a decoy answer. But we know that's not the case, so answer choice G is wrong, leaving us with F because we know the answer is yes rather than no. But let's read these options anyways. Let's pretend that you thought it was no, and for whatever reason, you missed that both of these things were being addressed. Let's figure out the reasoning why. Maybe we can mark it off because the reasoning's wrong. No, because it uses negative terms such as lonely and forlorn to describe the narrator's experience of collecting ghost signs. Now, if we read carefully, it wasn't the narrator's experience that was lonely and forlorn. It was the sign itself. So the narrator was describing the sign and not her experience. So again, these would be decoy answers. And if you recognize that this was incorrect, you could mark this wrong. Let's go to J. No, because instead it describes two hobbies, photography and collecting ghost signs. So what's going on here is that the narrator collects pictures of ghost signs. The narrator goes around, snaps a picture, and that's what the narrator means by collecting ghost signs. So if you weren't reading carefully, then you might have picked J, but if you were, you would recognize that it's really just one hobby and not two. Again, that's a decoy answer, and you could mark off J. So even if you weren't sure if it was yes or no, Remember, you can always go into the details here, and hopefully you can mark off some of these decoy answers. And in that case, you would eliminate the wrong answers and you would still arrive to the right answer, which is F.